Hello, hello. We're back and we're having fun. Dying a little bit inside. But that's okay. We're back. That's all that matters. We did legs. And it was a good leg day, so what does it matter? But we living, we having fun, that's all that matters. We're getting excited about our growth every single day. Like growing muscle, getting bigger every single day, getting stronger every day is all that matters to me. So that's the fun thing. Is like if I'm not growing, if I'm not getting bigger, and I'm not looking like I'm changing, that sucks. But that means I have to work harder. So that's all that matters. Anyways, I think I have a topic for today. I was just scrolling on Instagram, having fun, living the dream. Not really, just being bored. And I've been seeing, I think his name's Hassan. It's like this really hardcore gym, and like they're screaming at each other, like getting weight, moving shit, just moving weight is their whole goal in that gym. And I was seeing comments about like, man, I don't want to go there. They don't even do like proper form or anything. I was like, hey, they're growing. That's all that matters. There was a thing about like people talking about how you need proper form to grow. No, you don't. But it's at some point you will have to fix your form the older you get, because the more likely you're going to get injured. So that's the worry. Is like if you're not taking care of your joints now, you're going to have to start taking care of them when they're a little more beat, a little more not okay. So be proactive is what people try and tell you to be. Now, if you don't want to train like that, you don't have to. I'm just going to tell you at some point it's going to be a difficult decision that you might have to take. Is that, do you continue to train like a maniac all the time, or do you pull back and start training a little more intelligently, a little less fucking bro, and more like, I'm going to do 15 reps, 10 to 15 reps, make sure I'm not going to get hurt, moving an adequate amount of weight for this, not pushing high weight for low volume, stuff like that. And there was one dude who was, this was a different video that I saw about watching a dude do 15 reps of like, I think it was rows or something like that, barbell rows. And the dude was like, what is the first 10 reps doing for you? Longevity, keeping him healthy, making sure he doesn't get injured because he's too busy focusing on how much weight he's moving instead of focusing on, am I going to be able to do this for the rest of my life? Now, I'm young enough to where I don't have to worry as much about that. I can be young and dumb for a minute. Now, when I get older, 23, 24, when I'm starting to wear down on my body because I'm doing construction, I'm doing manual, a blue-collar job, and weightlifting, maybe I'll have to pull back. That all depends on how hard I'm pushing now and how well I'm taking care of myself now. Now, if you're balls to the walls every single workout, no matter what, cool. All right, whatever. That's you. But do not dog on someone who is doing 10 to 15 reps because they are more worried about their joint health and stuff like that. You are not the smartest man in the room. You're not the smartest man on the internet. There are people who are smarter than you. There are people who are also dumber than you. Half the time you're an average intellect on the internet. Do not try and inflate your ego by believing you know everything when it's when you've only been training for about 2 years. That is something you have to think about, is you cannot inflate your ego because you believe you need to be the smartest guy in the room. No. That is something I have fallen into a few times because I thought I was the smartest man in the room. You are not. I'm not the smartest man in the room. A philosopher once said, those who believe they know everything are dumb, and those who believe they know nothing are smart. What he's saying is, if you are smart enough to understand the world, you have now understand that you know nothing about the world. Believing you know everything means you have not learned enough to realize that there are things that you have never learned and never been able to experience. Yes. Am I butchering this philosophy? Yes. Is that because I don't understand it fully? Yes. Is it because I haven't looked at it in a minute? Yes. But it does not mean the core aspect of it doesn't mean the core aspect of it has changed. It just means that maybe the words I'm using are incorrect. What I'm trying to tell you is step back and learn. Not everyone can be a teacher, but everyone can be a student. That is something that I had to learn, is that not everyone can teach, but everyone can learn. So you have to let someone teach you something. And also, the stigmatism of someone telling you, hey, this is a fact, and you going, oh, know it all. Yes. The problem is, they know something that you don't, and you don't like it. Don't be arrogant. As another thing, being arrogant it will be your downfall. Yes, I understand I am young, meaning some of the things that come out of my mouth do sound very arrogant and very disconnected because I have not had the time for most of you. I haven't been alive long enough as long as some of you have been learning, is what I'm trying to say. So some of these things might be incorrect in what I'm saying, but this is from my personal experience. I do like learning, so if you have anything to share, tell me, because it's fun. A conversation is good. An understanding is good. Being ignorant is not. Do not inflate your ego. Most of us already have big enough egos as it is, because we already believe we can and do not have to learn anything more because we are out of high school. That is something I had to figure out is, hey, you're out of high school now does not mean learning is over. It just means school is over. High school is over. Learning is never over. If you stop learning, you stop understanding. You stop trying because you've believed you've learned everything. You have not, because I haven't learned anything. Most likely, I've talked to my dad, who is a good, more than 20 years older than I am. Way more than 20 years old. No, not way more. A good 30 years, I'd say. Maybe less. But he's still learning. He's still finding shit out. Because, guess what? He did trucking for most of my life. And now that he's gotten out of it and is doing more like other stuff, he has to take classes because he's going into like the city stuff and stuff like that. So they want him to have a better understanding of how the city works and how like other things work. And guess what? He's still learning. Meaning someone who is 20-something years older than I am is still learning. That means anyone, the whole saying you can't teach a dog new tricks, no, it just means you can teach a new dog tricks. It just takes way longer. It takes more patience to teach older people. Because some of them don't want to learn. because they're stuck in their ways. I've met a few people who are like that, who refuse to learn because they believe their way is the best. Just because you believe so does not mean it always is. Now, am I going to force you to learn? No. Am I going to at least give you something I believe is a good advice? Yes. Is it going to be helpful? Maybe. But does not mean it does not need to happen. It does not mean it's going to be detrimental to you. Trying it out is a good thing too. That's the biggest problem about the internet and stuff like that, is I have never seen someone with more Cheeto fucking fingers typing on their keyboard telling many people who have better understandings of something than they do that they're doing something wrong. The guy TNF is a good example. I've seen a few comments of him fucking from, like, not from him, but like from people that he's reacted to, and he's like, that's just fucking wrong. And they're like, well, I have a degree, and he's like, so do I also have 10 years of coaching experience. That's the difference between you and I, is I have more coaching experience, so I should have a better understanding than you do. He's also coached a lot of people. He's coached natural and enhanced athletes, so he understands physiology from taking PEDs and how people actually react when you change their metabolic state of either having too much food, a surplus, or in a deficit. And when people say, I can't lose weight because of my hormones, it's not just because of your hormones. Your hormones are making you hungrier. That has nothing to do with calories in, calories out. It has nothing to do with that. Calories in, calories out works no matter what. We've tested it over so many studies, and we found that it works. There's a study on the 600-pound people who were in the 600-pound life, and they lost, I think some of them lost like fucking 500 pounds. And yet, guess what's really crazy? Want to know how they lost all that weight? A calorie deficit. They exercised and ate very few calories, and what happened was they lost the weight. That's crazy. That's almost like calories and calories works. And then there's people who talk about how they have certain type of diseases that make it harder to lose weight. Yes, but it does not mean the weight will not come off if you stop eating. If you eat less calories, doesn't mean that's going to happen. What's going to happen is, since you're eating less calories, and let's say you're a petite woman, that's 140, like a petite woman, you're a good 190, 200 pounds. You're fucking 5 foot. You're obese. Yes. And you want to lose weight, but you have a medical condition where it's making it difficult for you to lose weight. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. Because if you're telling me that it's impossible for you to lose weight because of your hormones, no, it's not impossible. You know, it's crazy, the whole fucking, what's it called? That, like, injection that, like, helps people lose weight. You know what it is? It is a type of ghrelin suppressant. And what ghrelin is a hormone that tells you you're hungry. And when you take that, you inject it in your body, it suppresses the want to eat food completely. It blocks that neurotransmitter completely, so you don't want to eat, really. You're not hungry. But the thing is, like, even though you're taking this, you should still be exercising. I don't care if your doctor tells you not to exercise on this stuff, getting a doctor. The reason I'm going to tell you this right now is because what's going to happen is because since you have no ghrelin, you're not hungry ever, your body, the first thing it does when it gets hungry is it'll take carbs, which guess what's in the muscle? Glycogen, which is a carb water molecule. Well, not a molecule, a substance. I don't know the word for it, but it's a carbon water substance. So what it does is it takes out all of the glycogen from your muscle, so it makes you flat. And then once it's done taking all of those carbs out of your body, because it was a quick energy, it's gonna start trying to burn fat. But since fat is not as easily available, it's very available, but it's not as easily available as some muscle. So when it takes some fat, that's cool. It's going to just start taking your fat away. But what if it's severely hungry? Your body's severely hungry. The only thing that it cares about when it's severely hungry is keeping you alive. It does not care about building muscle, sex, anything like that. What it cares about is making sure that your heart continues to pump, your liver isn't dying, your kidneys are working, your stomach's working, your intestines are working, your brain's working. So, what happens? It starts to burn muscle. It knows that it can't burn muscle from the heart or any other vital organs. So the first thing it's going to take from you is all of your skeletal muscle, all of the muscle that is connected to your bone tissue, because it can just start taking it away, making it and absorbing the nutrients that it gives it, which is protein, which, hey, even though it takes longer for it to digest and takes more energy, it's still getting some of that energy back. And then it's taking fat from you because it needs anything. But when it runs out of fat and there's just kind of nothing there, you kind of just wither away. You can go look at Lizzo. She, I think it was I forget what it's called now, but she used it, and now she kind of looks weird. She does not look like a normal, healthy human being. She looks like she took something that would eat her system away to a certain weight, didn't actually do the work, and had a better body composition. Body composition is muscle and fat, depending on like how much fat you have compared to muscle and stuff like that. And when you're skinny fat, your body composition is pretty even. You don't have a ton of muscle, but you don't have a ton of fat. But you have enough fat that you kind of don't have abs, so you're not skinny enough to have abs, but you're not big enough for it to actually look like you have that like big physique. Like, you know those people who are like fairly fat, but they still go to the gym and they look pretty damn good. They just don't have the abs that everyone wants when you talk about like going to the gym and stuff like that, because their goal isn't to be the best looking person in the room. Their goal is to be the strongest looking person in the room. So why does it matter? Well, if you have a terrible body composition, your health is kind of in a detriment, because you're not actually bettering your health. What's happening is you're kind of just keeping your health the same, but lowering your weight so your heart has to work less as hard. So the only thing you're actually doing, like, there was a study done on like people with diabetes, and after using this, they were still kind of pre-diabetic. Wanna know why? Because their body composition didn't really change. Their weight did, but they were still kind of fat. Well, I'm not like, yeah, kind of fat, not overly obese anymore, but they were still skinny fat. So they didn't have a ton of muscle, and they didn't have the same amount of fat anymore, but they were still okay. So their insulin levels were kind of the same and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean it's not worth doing. I'm just going to tell you right now, work out with it. You need to also go to the gym. If normal like means isn't doing it for you, like you literally are struggling because something's like wrong and like you just can't do it. For some reason you can't do it. Cool, whatever. I'm not gonna put it past you. I'm just gonna tell you right now, these are the dangers of taking a drug instead of working out. Well, have a good day, have a good night, see you later. Okay. weak as shit. All right. Okay.
Okay. I'm tired. Okay. Let's get this mountain done. Ooh. Wrong way. The legs are looking better. I'm out of breath. Do some legs and then this. I'm looking crazy again. Like, legs looking better, but my back is still lacking a lot. There we go. Like, my quads are looking crazy. My fucking striation in my chest looking better again. What's crazy is like, I'm a little leaner. I'm still staying around 140s, 150s. So I'm just gonna get big as shit. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna go to the car, go to bed.